Our goal is to just focus on one game at a time, and we can stay positive by just playing for each other. It's bigger than us. We playing for the university and like our coaches. So we really right now we're just playing for ourselves in the university. So it's like it's bigger than us. So yeah, we can stay positive. Motivate each other. I mean, it's not a big deal. The record really don't show how much we've been improving each week. We've been improving a lot each week. It just at the end of the game, it's just not the results that we want.
Same question to you, big man.
Osh pretty much said it all. We play for each other. I know in the middle of the game, I look up and Osh is standing on the sideline. I got to get him that ball back, And he knows that he's going to score, and we're going to get back on D, and we're going to try and get him the ball back. And it's just looking at each other and loving our brother and playing for our brother. Because at the end of the day, we're the ones on the field, and we want to make everybody that's watching us proud. We want to still give the kids at home something to look forward to when they get older and be able to play the game that we play right now.
Another tough test coming up Saturday against App State. Kind of what have y'all seen from them so far this week?
I seen they're a very physical team. They well coached. They make sure they're in the right position at all times. And basically they're a good team. So it's gonna be a tough task. They've been winning the conference or whatever for the last couple of years. So it's gonna be a tough task, but I'm pretty sure we got a great game plan. And it's gonna be a great game.
Yes, Shane, same thing.
Yeah, App State is a pretty tough team, like Osh said. They're pretty punch you in the face type of team. If something doesn't work, they're gonna keep trying to get it right, and they're gonna be one of those teams that pound it and pound it and pound it until something squeezes out. And we just got to be where we need to be at all times. No mistakes, and it'll be a good game.
I think Osh, we've asked you this before, but with so much, what's the word I'm looking for lack of a better word, so much turnover at quarterback. It seems like every drive somebody else is playing quarterback. Does that have much effect on you or not much?
No, it really don't have much effect on me. We just gotta get a rhythm on offense, and I feel like every time we get a rhythm going on the drive, we score. Like every time we get a rhythm going, we just gotta keep the rhythm going throughout the game. We just can't be inconsistent. We gotta be consistent with it. We gotta keep it going throughout the game. So it really don't have effect on nothing I do.
After watching the film this past game, from an offensive standpoint, what positives can you take out of this Arkansas State game to prepare yourself for this trip to Boone?
We just gotta keep playing physical. We gotta start off fast like we did. We started off pretty fast, and also we got to finish drives. We drove the ball a lot, but we wasn't able to finish. We missed a couple of field goals, but instead of having the kick, we need to score more touchdowns. So that's the main thing I got. We just need to finish, and then once we start pin up points like we supposed to, the games will start. Outcomes will be how we want them to be.
The same defense as the last 2 years. Mickey's the coach, and things probably haven't changed that much philosophy-wise. Did you put your finger on why the turnovers haven't come this year like they did last year?
Well, scheme-wise, last year we played a lot more zone, and this year we're playing a lot more man. We feel as though our corners can cover a lot better than in the previous years. They've been working on their technique over the offseason, and they're definitely coming along. And that's one of the reasons why we don't have people spying underneath in the coverages. In the previous years we had a lot of people playing under, but man also. So we like mixed it up a little bit, and if we're going for PBUs right now, our corners and DBs, instead of looking for the ball a lot more. I feel like in previous years we were spying on the quarterback and playing off of him.
What do you feel you guys can do from a defensive standpoint this week against App State to kind of get them off balance a little bit and kind of play to their weaknesses to have an opportunity to get them off the field?
Honestly, I just think we need to stick to our game plan. We need to, like Coach always said, we need to become better tacklers. We're working on that over the season, and as Osh said, we've been improving on stuff, but the scoreboard doesn't say it. But that's definitely one of the things we have been improving on. Penalties is another thing we've been improving on, and third down is a big part of our game. We have to improve on third down. I think last week we were 8 for 14 or something like that. Yeah, that's definitely one of the things we have to improve on.
Have either one of you guys become more involved in special teams this year or recent weeks?
Yeah, in the last couple of weeks, I've been playing, well, this week for sure, I'm going to be playing a lot more special teams this week coming up. And last week, I played a little bit of kickoff and kick return. But this week, I'm going to play a little bit more special teams.
Is that new for you? Is that something?
No, I've been playing special teams since a freshman, so I know most of the special teams still.
But this year you hadn't played much until the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I played kick return. Kick return was the only return that I've been playing throughout the season. But like the last two weeks, I'd say I've been playing a little bit of kickoff and kick return. And this week, I'm going to play a little bit more special teams.
And what position do you play in those roles?
In the kick return, I'm the halfback, the right halfback, and on kickoff, I'm the two guy from the sideline. I'm the second guy from the sideline, and I'm also be on punt. I'm gonna be the right guard.
You get the block a lot.
Yeah, yes sir.
I am looking forward to actually playing in Central Time and getting home before 3 a.m. in the morning. Eastern Time, yeah, playing in Eastern Time. So we obviously know the challenge that we're playing. App's the class of the league. Arkansas State and them have obviously shared titles, and App's a really good football team. It's a great environment to play in. Going up there, they've obviously got a wonderful tradition from FCS, the national championships, and now into FBS. They started when they started their FBS. They started 1-5, and since that time, since starting 1-5, I believe they're 27-2 over the last 3 or 4 years. So, we strive to obviously make the jump the way they have, and I think our program's heading that direction. And we're looking forward to going up there and competing against the best this league has, and feel like we have an opportunity to go up there and come out with a victory if we'll do some things that we're capable of.
Whether ETSU or Charleston Southern, kind of what experiences do you have, and what can you take away from playing up in Boone?
I don't know if any of my experiences will help this team, but I've been over there and came back with my tail tucked, been over there and got a couple wins, which have been nice. It's always a great game day tradition. Their fans are going to be loud. It's going to be packed. They love football. They're very knowledgeable. But they're not unbeatable, and I think that's what I would take to it. Sometimes certain teams get this air that, hey, nobody can beat them up at a certain place, and when you've been able to do that, I think it does give you confidence, hey, you know how to get those things done. So hopefully maybe that will.
Coach, I guess at this point in the season, how do you keep these guys focused on the task at hand of staying positive and looking toward the bigger picture? Because we're all human nature that says, after a while you just kind of feel beat down after losing as many of you guys long. How do you keep the focus on, let's just worry about this game and keep it from there, so the guys just kind of moving around a little bit?
Well, that is a challenge, obviously, because everybody wants to win, everybody wants the results. But what we've talked a lot about with our team is when you're building something, you got to remember your why. Why you're doing what you're doing, and so each week you're playing for each other. You're playing for the person that's been beside you for the last 4 years that you've sacrificed, committed, and put a lot of sweat and blood and tears into something. And so you're playing for him. There's a bigger purpose than just yourself. And so I think if you remember those things and remember the mission, why you're playing 100% if you're playing for Coastal, every week, no matter what the results of the scoreboard, you're going out and giving your best, because that's what we're supposed to do when you're playing for people you care about and love. And so that's why you try to do it. Some guys buy into that. Some could care less. But we're hoping that each week that our guys are understanding the foundation they're laying. It's not, I feel bad for our seniors because it's obviously not the way they wanted to go out. But they're going to leave a legacy, a foundation for this year's team of what it's going to be like going forward. And hopefully they'll continue to fight for us, and I know they will, to make sure that foundation is rock solid.
What's the quarterback situation right now? Obviously, Keene has practiced this week. Dalton is out with a concussion. So the quarterback carousel continues. Who's on the horse this week?
Tyler is relatively healthy. He's still a little banged up, but he's been taking reps at practice, and so he'll be the starter. Kelton will play some as well. I'll play both of those guys, and we'll see how good they do. We're running out of anybody else to play, to be honest with you, and so we'll continue to let those guys compete. Tyler's done a solid job in what we're asking him to do. Kelton can do a little bit more things with his legs, so we're trying to use him some. That way we can try to, not be a sitting duck back there at quarterback. And hopefully we can get healthy through the rest of the season and continue to develop both those guys.
Kind of looking at the numbers turnovers, look like App State kind of stout in the trenches. Kind of how do you try to overcome those guys?
Yeah, they're pretty good, and they also do a nice job in the secondary. They lead the conference in interceptions. They're extremely fast on defense, so we're going to have to do a good job of trying to, hit them inside, try to do some things that misdirect them to get them to go outside. I'm not going to say reverses or things, but some misdirection things. They're the best defense we've seen as far as numbers, but also just talent. And that's going to be a big challenge for us, a big challenge. And we've got to do a nice job of trying to control the clock and doing better on third down. We've got to do a better job on third down.
Coach, there was an interesting email sent out yesterday about the quarterback situation here at Coastal. There's been 9 quarterbacks since Alex Ross left over basically a 2-year span, give or take. What does this program need to do to go out and find that one guy to come in and be the quarterback instead of having to do this carousel thing like you guys had the last 2 years? I mean, I know you haven't been here, but I'm assuming there's been a premium on going out and trying to find the next future quarterback to rely on a guy week in and week out like you had with Alex and Thigpen and so on and so forth.
Quarterback's hard. It's hard. You can find a lot of good guys, but to have the thing about quarterback that's the tough thing to evaluate is, do they have the mental capacity to do it? And then if they have the mental capacity, they obviously need to have enough talent. That's obviously an area that we've been working hard at to try to find and try to, continue to bring in quarterbacks that we think are capable of leading to a Sun Belt championship. Part of that too, though, is you got to get some better players around them too. I think if the more players that you have around them, the less the quarterback has to be that talented. There's a lot of people. I'll use Alabama as an example. Alabama's probably never had somebody would say would be a great quarterback, but they win a lot because they've got good players around them and he's good enough. And so, yeah, we want to get that guy that everybody knows it's the Alex Ross or the next Alex Ross or Thigpen. That's just the guy. But until we get that guy, the more and more we get better players around, we can help him until he develops. We might have that guy on campus already. We just got to continue to develop him and put some pieces around him for him to reach his full potential. And so I think it goes both ways there. We got to get better in general overall, and I think our quarterback position will get better.
You talked about it kind of the opening statements. App State's kind of set the model for you guys and kind of the conference. Has that been discussed as far as they've done it, now we can as well?
Not really. I try more so to focus on us and not really compare us to other people. Who knows what they were going through during their time frame. I know what we're going through, but more so just that you never know. That's a great thing about sports in general, football. You just never know when it clicks for your team and things go well. But that's why you got to keep fighting. You got to keep plugging. And so, I'm sure our guys know that they struggled and started off like that, but it's not something we're going to talk about daily.
What's the status with Evan? Is you think it's a mental thing with him right now with regards to kicking field goals? And if so, do you make a switch or do you stick with him?
We're going to stick with Evan. Today he kicked. We had 3 situations there with some pressure on and red zone and a sudden change, and he knocked all 3 that were 40-plus yarders right down the pipe. I don't know if it's just the Saturday lights. I don't know what gets in his mind, if it's just one bad kick and then he worries about it going forward. But he gives us the best chance to make those, and he's got to make sure that he's doing everything, and he's not trying to miss them, obviously. I think it's a lot with his technique, not to get technical on you with kickers, but I think it's part of his technique. But we have confidence in him. He's proven that. He's struggled in certain games, and we obviously need him to be better for us to have a chance, and he knows that. I think, if we get into a situation where we need him to kick a game-winning field goal, we're going to send him out there and let him do it, and he'll knock it in for us.
Coach Kilton got some playing time even before Tyler had gotten hurt, so obviously it's somebody you wanted to get in there. Mm-hmm. What do you like about him that made you want to get him in the game?
Well, I think he can do some things. He throws the ball pretty well. He moves pretty well. He's a little more athletic than obviously Tyler, and he can help us maybe open up the offense a little bit more in certain things, but also is smart enough not to maybe do anything that's going to just kill us, jeopardize us by his decisions. And so we're trying to get where we can be balanced and do some things that I feel like we can move the ball on successfully. We have to tailor it to who our quarterback is when they're in there for what they do well, and that's what we've been trying to do. And, a lot of the times the last 2-3 weeks we've been able to do some certain things and move the ball in certain times. We looked last week, if you look statistics, we had a lot of good statistics. We're just not scoring enough points when we get down there. We miss field goals, or we don't score touchdowns. But I thought Kilton could give us a little bit of different things where we could do some different things with him and help us move the ball.
Does he have enough of a game all around, passing and throwing, where you don't necessarily have to tailor certain plays to him, and he's capable of the entire playbook maybe?
Eventually, yes, he is eventually. That was his first game in over 2 years, so you're trying to do some things that he feels comfortable with instead of throwing a lot at him. And what we gave him last week, I thought he handled pretty well for the most part. He missed it. He makes a couple nice throws. He missed some throws that would have been some big plays, and so he's still learning. But I thought he handled himself well with the environment. This is a different one. This one's is a different environment here. There's going to be a lot of people there, and it's going to be loud and a lot of speed. So we still got to probably spoon feed him a little bit more until we feel like he's completely comfortable to doing a lot of things. And that's just where we're at. Him being hurt with his hamstring early on really set him back. He was doing well, where I think he could have been, maybe had a chance to sort of be the guy from the get-go, but the hamstring really put him back and allowed him to miss some. He missed some quality time of learning, and so we're trying to speed that back up.
Oshimar talked about playing special teams some more. Can you name a few other guys, some of the starters on offense or defense that maybe you're putting in there more to try to shore up that unit?
Anybody's available that's a starter. From Shane Johnson, who's been our best linebacker, to Osh, to Chris Jones, guys that have been here that play a lot of football. We've got to get better in those areas, and we've had some starters already on it, but we got to shore some of it up. So we're working hard to do that, and it's not something we don't work. We work it a lot, but we're learning that. I think we're learning two things. One, that you got talented teams and they got some good players on there. Secondly, our young guys have to understand what they have to do if they're going to contribute on special teams. They really have to step up. We maybe had some guys play just because, we're going to play them and been able to get by with being okay, and that's not the case anymore. It's hurt us. So those guys have either got to get a role and find it, or we got to find better players.
Last week, 10-point game at halftime, and then they kind of ran away with it in the second half. Kind of what have you guys done to kind of correct that going forward?
Well, first of all, hopefully not be behind at halftime. And then, second, I think what happens is the last couple of times, it's 17-7. They come out to get a score. We've got to score. We've got to match that offensively. We have to match it, or at least keep the ball and keep them off the field a little bit. And we've just not been able to do that. If our defense is giving up a score or whatever it may be, we got to come back and at least try to match it, hang in there. And we weren't able to. Then they scored again. They got a big punt return, and it just it fell apart. And so just trying to play better, more cohesive together, and understanding the flow of the game is something that we talk about. We work. We felt like we had a good plan coming out of halftime of where we were at. We knew they would do some changes. And it really, at least offensively, it wasn't anything they showed different. We just didn't execute certain things. We had chances to move the ball. Defensively, we had them a couple times on some third downs, but just couldn't get them off the field. And then it snowballs, and from there, and then once that momentum starts, it's hard to get it back on your side.
Maybe bring up some good memories. You mentioned you beating App State up there. When and who were you with, and when did you beat?
Oh, that's a good question. 2013. My first year at Charleston, up there in their first year in FBS, their transition year. So I don't know when, but up there. And then when I was in college, playing East Tennessee State, 1997, we played over there and beat them on homecoming, 51-28, worst loss they've ever had.
But you guys beat them. Charleston Southern beat them up there in their first year. That was a big win for you.
It was sort of a momentum, getting that program built, and that was a big deal as far as sort of establishing what we were trying to get done. So hopefully you'll see that this week.
You've lost a few times up there also?
Probably more than you can speak. I think out of my 6-7 years, probably going up there, lost up there 4 times, probably 4 times. Yeah, maybe 5. Beat them a couple times when I was at home, and then there. So I don't know if there's too many people that have winning records against them. So.
It seems like Land, their quarterback's been there for 8 years.
At least. I think he's drawing Social Security.
Yeah. Kind of what have you seen from him, and kind of him leading the App offense?
You know what I think he does more than anything. He's very consistent. He's reliable. He's not going to do anything to put them in a bad position. They've obviously got some really good players around him. He does a great job of managing. But the thing I think he's probably underappreciated, when they need a play made, he'll scramble out of the pocket, or he'll do something to buy some time and make a big play. The last I think the last 3 weeks, not counting their Savannah State game, they've been down. You know, and they were down 20-0 last week, and he was able to bring them back, and, you know, they win 23-20. So he's that. He's a coach's kid, you know. He's got that confidence about him, and he's been basically a 4-year starter there. I think he started game 2 of his redshirt freshman year. So he's going to be Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable, and nothing's going to shake him. He's seen everything. So if you're going to beat him, you know, you got to beat him, and I think that's why they've been a lot successful. He doesn't beat himself.
Kind of, you mentioned with Georgia State, you kind of mentioned the recruiting battle between you guys and Georgia. Kind of the same thing with App State.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're recruiting Carolinas, North Carolina. We're recruiting there. Places that they recruit, we are. You know, and so you're going to go head to head with them sometimes, and you know, it'd be big for us to get a victory and to show the people that we're recruiting that hey, our program's in the right direction. But even if we don't. We go up and play well and show what we're capable of doing. I think that helps us going forward. But anytime that you're battling a neighbor state that they're coming into your backyard, you're going in your backyard. Anytime a victory would help.